Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Stripes and Pints, football's newest podcast. Beckett Weswell, Christian McGowan bring you action today. Beckett, how are we doing so far?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Doing great. Sunny skies outside, just went for a walk. It's beautiful, but we have a lot to cover today. We do have a special guest who is waiting to join us, so we're going to quickly go into the Serie A title race. We've been doing this ever since we started. A trend here, Atalanta are now 10 points behind Inter. They've lost 3 in a row, so they kind of taken themselves out of the title race. Napoli, they are 3 points behind. They drew over the weekend, same with Inter, so an opportunity wasted for Napoli. They could have been 1 point behind, but it's starting to get down to a 2-team race, Beckett.
Yeah, I mean, clearly since we started, Atalanta's been cursed. I think you said they're now like 1-4 since then, so that's not that one. That's on us. But yeah, like you said, that's a big missed opportunity for Napoli, right? With only 7 games left, you only got so many chances where Inter's going to drop any points, and I mean, even especially you were up against Bologna, so you had the chance to pull that one out. And that, to be fair, that was probably Napoli's toughest game remaining.
And looking at Inter, they played Parma over the weekend. They were up 2-0 and ended up squabbling the lead, and then they end up drawing 2-2, so they only gain a point. You mentioned it, the opportunities are running out for teams like Napoli to make strides and potentially overtake Inter in the title race. We're going to shift gears. Usually we do our Fulham segment after our main topic, but we're going to do it now. We talked about it. Hell Week is upon us. This I was not expecting at all. We defeated Liverpool 3-2. This was really shocking to say. This is really shocking just to see the goals keep going on and on and on. After a loss to Tottenham earlier in the month, we defeat Liverpool. And now we're top 10 within the Prem table. I believe we are currently 8th. Yes, we're 8th. We are just 5 points behind Chelsea, who is in 4th place. So it's a big win for the lads at Black and Red.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that they had to at least win a game, maybe get a draw in this next couple of weeks. Now, this was not the game that I thought it would come in. This definitely seemed like the hard one, but I mean, that's huge, put you in 8th. And, as we talked about, now the Prem is now secured 5 spots in Champions League, and that could be even more, but that does mean that European spots is going to go down to around 8th place, maybe even lower. So Fulham, this is, it's getting realistic as we move forward.
Yeah, and after Liverpool scores first, Alexis McAllister in the 14th minute, Fulham scores 3 goals in 14 minutes to respond. They end up conceding late, but they get the dub and the 3 points over Liverpool. So that's it for the Fulham segment. We're going to dive into our main topic, obviously. Champions League's back. We had a ton of drama that happened over the past couple of days. Our special guest, Luke. Welcome, Luke. We're going to get you in here. There we go. Luke, he's going to be with us. How you doing, Luke?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Very excited for this next part right here. So obviously the Champions League quarterfinals first leg is done. Some shocking things happen, but we're going to go start off with something light. All right, Barcelona won 4-0 over Dortmund. PSG won 3-1. Those games you kind of expected lean towards one team, we should say. Inter defeated Bayern 2-1. We'll get to that. But the main topic, what happened to Real Madrid? What happened to Real Madrid? You lose 3-0 to Arsenal at the Emirates. Definitely a very shocking outcome. That's something Beckett and I for sure did not predict. We knew it would be a close fixture, but we didn't think Arsenal could get it done, Beckett.
No, I mean, definitely not in that fashion. And, we can talk about how the goals were scored and argue, it could have very easily been 1-0. But, even Arsenal had a lot more chances they didn't score, right? In all things considered, Courtois didn't play a bad game. It felt like at the beginning of the game, the ball was just bouncing off people right in front of the goal line, and somehow nobody could find a goal. But eventually Arsenal found one, and then they just kept coming.
Yeah, like Luke, you said, I think it might have been closer to being a 5, maybe 6-0 game than a 1-0 game. I've never seen Madrid that shaken away from home. Usually they're able to lock it down. They had zero control of that game throughout the entire time. It was shocking to see. I've never seen a Madrid team play like that.
And that's sorry, my bad.
Yeah, I've also never seen 2 free kicks by the same player in one game, which is like phenomenal to see. That was insane.
And I saw the tweet. It was like, I think Declan Rice was watching Messi highlights before the game, because that that was incredible to see that hit not one, but 2 free kicks. And it's the small things like that that has to go your way if you want to beat Madrid, right? We saw it at Fletty. They almost had it in the Champions League. Vinny missed the penalty. They had opportunities. But overall, those small things like free kick, set pieces, they have to go your way if you want to beat a team like Real Madrid.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And I think, but I mean, like Luke said, Real Madrid just didn't look comfortable in this game. They didn't have their footing. Obviously, the start of the game was very end to end. It was kind of both of them running. But once it settled down, and especially in the second half, Madrid couldn't even keep control of the ball. Like that, I don't think you're going to sit here and say that any of their front played a great game, but they also really didn't have opportunities. It didn't feel like they could get the ball through the midfield. And it was just Arsenal controlling the pace and playing the way they wanted to.
To build on that, who did Real Madrid have last year that controlled the pace of every single game? Is probably one of the most underrated midfielders I've ever seen. Just retired. His name's Toni Kroos. They're missing him badly. What he did was extremely underrated. He controlled the pace. When Madrid was losing control of the ball, he'd calm things down, and they're clearly lacking a presence just to calm down the ball like that. And I think he was really more key to this Real Madrid team than people give him credit for, and they're really missing him this year.
And for Kroos, he retired, I think, was he 34? So he's not entirely, I guess, old, you should say, but he's still, fairly young, and it's definitely showed against the match against Arsenal. But the question that lingers in our head, right? We've seen Real Madrid do this multiple times. Ancelotti raises the eyebrow, and that's it. It's over. It's over. The question, I think, this game feels like it's just blown out of, it's over. That's what it feels like. But also feels like this game is nowhere near done yet. We've seen Real Madrid do it before. The question is, can they do it one more time, this time at home against Arsenal?
I mean, one thing you do got to mention about when you're looking at these scores they're not down 3-0 with like going in looking just abysmal, right? But granted, 3 goals, and some of these are 3 goals in like 10 minutes. So, that for them, what they have to, obviously it'll be, playing at home. Hopefully they're able to kind of control the game, maybe make it a little bit more what they want. And maybe Arsenal just parks it a little bit too much and gives them chances. But there wasn't a lot to look at that game and feel encouraged about moving forward.
What they need is Declan Rice to not do what he did. I don't think he will do it again. So if Declan Rice scores 0 free kicks next game, I think they have a chance. I don't see them keeping a clean sheet the way they're playing right now, so they're probably going to need at least 4 goals. And the way Vinny's playing, whatever's happened to him, the fall-off's insane. So, I don't know. I've watched the sport too long to bet against Madrid, but I don't think they have it in them.
But see, we've been in this situation before where it seems like all odds are against Madrid. They can't do it, but then they just find a way. You're not feeling that way this time. You're feeling like this is it.
This goes back to me thinking they've lost their core of winning mentality players. They used to have Sergio Ramos to rely on, Toni Kroos, Ronaldo. These years, they had some outstanding players that would lead them. I don't know if Mbappe is that leader, and I don't know if their defense is solid enough.
And looking at Madrid's... Sorry, Beckett. You can go. My bad.
Oh, no. I mean, I think that's the big thing that we talked about coming into this and why. Now, obviously, we both picked them to make the final, but not win it. Was just not having the faith in their defense compared to other teams. And I think you saw that a little bit in this game. And it wasn't, the deciding factor in why it's 3-0. But I do think that's a big part of it. As you said, they have to get a clean sheet. And that doesn't seem remotely likely based on how that game should have maybe gone.
And you guys keep mentioning clean sheets. Real Madrid, they haven't had a clean sheet in 9 games. They haven't. So this is definitely a drought that they're currently on. And if there's ever a more crucial time to get a clean sheet, it's definitely going to be on Wednesday at home against the Gunners. Any final thoughts you have against or with this Madrid-Arsenal fixture from either of you?
Vinny needs to turn it around quickly. I don't know what happened to him, but I had him picked as my Ballon d'Or player from last season.
Ooh.
And this is just not even the same player. I respect Rodri and everything, but I thought Vinny was the best player in the world last year. And the fact he got 90 minutes in that game on Tuesday was a disgrace from Ancelotti first, but it's just a shadow of the player, which is really sad.
It seems all of his powers have been transferred over to Rafinha, and he's now the guy over there in Spain.
So we'll get to that at Barcelona in a second. I do want to ask with Madrid, for either of you, when you do have such a star-studded team, Vinny, Mbappe, Jude, Rodrigo, and that front four, there's a lot of egos that get attached to that, and in cases you do lose that winning mentality because you're so star-studded, it can be hard to mash together. Do you think that's happening to Vinny right now, being aside of a pair of Mbappe, Rodrigo, and Jude, or is it just a mental thing, you think?
I'm going to leave that one for Luke because I feel like he probably knows better than me on that stand.
Well, I will say this. He's not performing at Brazil either, where he's supposed to be the guy. But they also have players like Rafinha who are stepping up. So it definitely is a mental thing, but I don't know how old he is now, maybe 22, which he's not in his prime yet. He will get better. He'll get through this. Madrid have got too much luck for him to fall off completely. He'll be fine. But for now, they don't have it. And he really needs the season to end, honestly.
Vinny is 24.
Okay.
I mean, maybe that might just be what Madrid needs. They might just need this season to be over and to go buy some defenders and figure things out next year.
So also at the end of the game, we saw some interesting things. Camavinga had some questionable acts in extra time. See what happened? I was at work and I saw Luke tweet saying that Camavinga, this is why he's so underrated. And I'm like, oh, he probably just scored a winning goal. I check and they're down 3-0. I'm like, okay, wow. Then I see the red card. I'm like, wow, okay. So he's now suspended for the next leg. And there's a report that Valverde and David Alaba were feeling some discomfort at the end of the first leg. Something to keep an eye on. But, I mean, just if things can't pile on for Madrid, this is the case. I mean, Camavinga suspended, a couple of their, starting guys feeling some discomfort. They definitely probably want the season to end.
Yeah, well, I mean, he got the first yellow, and that already made him suspended just on accumulation. So he felt the need to just boot a ball in the 94th minute I think that kind of just showed entirely how that game must have felt for them, and you could see the frustration on everyone's faces, and they're just kind of almost in shock.
So next, the thing that we noticed, or rather we can say, is because of all the attention in London, there maybe wasn't some attention that happened in Munich. Inter won 2-1 in the first leg. Beckett, you had this fixture being a very close one. I had Bayern, you had Inter, and a late goal put Inter ahead. Now they're going back to San Siro up 2-1. Do you think they can pull it off?
I mean, I definitely do still think they can play it. You pull this off, but I do think they're also a little bit grateful to come out of there with a win and even a draw. But I think you saw some pieces, and obviously this was not the game that I had on my TV out. My eyes were focused elsewhere. But I think it is, that first goal was just really good team play, and I think that's part of what makes Inter team so good, and why they're kind of dominating in every competition they're playing in right now.
Luke, do you have anything?
Yeah, I was watching it on multi-view because I was really interested in the game, so I get to see a little bit more. First of all, I think Inter are better than what people give them the credit for, and specifically it's because of what Inzaghi has done. He's been there since 2021. He's completely turned them around. They've won the league, been to Champions League finals. I think he's probably one of the top coaches in the world right now because the squad on paper is not anything too special. And he's gotten some consistency out of some underperforming players of the past. Secondly, Harry Kane. Harry Kane is the biggest loser I have ever seen. How can you make Bayern not a winning team? I'm sorry. He had a terrible miss.
I really,
but it was Harry Kane moment, Tottenham moment.
I really wish we could put up the videos of highlights or misses, but the last time we did that, we got copyright strike. The episode got taken down, so unfortunately, we can't do that. But definitely an interesting thing going on between those two fixtures. The other two, PSG, Villa, Barcelona, Dortmund, as I mentioned before, it's kind of something we expected. PSG, we expected them to win. Barcelona, we expected them to win. But, 4-0 over Dortmund. Rafinha, you mentioned it back at potential Ballon d'Or candidate coming on this season. We have them as our winners. We have them as winning the whole entire thing. Luke, we didn't get you in for a bracket or any predictions. Mm-hmm. Who do you have winning if you have a winner right now?
Oh, I have it written down. PSG is my favorite. They've been my favorite since I saw them take out Liverpool. Just completely take Liverpool out the game. But yeah, that's who I have right now.
That's fair.
I think those are definitely the two teams that we're looking at playing the best right now. And, it's not surprising that those two, obviously, Barca and PSG playing at home and probably playing against the two weakest teams maybe. And you're looking at this quarterfinals. So it's not overly maybe surprising you see it that go away. But, Barca 4-0 is a little bit ridiculous.
Barca was scary. I don't think Dortmund played particularly bad, really. They were in the game for most of it. It was just Barcelona has too much firepower. Dortmund played a decent game away from home. Better than I expected. Villa too, honestly. Both teams really showed up and gave them game, but the other two just had too much firepower.
Yeah, and looking at the stats in the Barca-Dortmund game, Barca won possession battle 61-39, had 10 shots on target compared to Dortmund's 3. When I texted you back at the start of the game, like, Lamine Yamal is doing some, terrible things to this Dortmund defense. He ultimately ended up scoring later on in the game, but the first 10 minutes, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's just carving them up. Like, no one can stop him. And you mentioned it, this front three, Rafinha, Lewandowski, Yamal. How do you stop that?
I don't have the answers to you for that. They're really fun to watch. That's my opinion on it. I'm just glad I get to watch it, and I don't have to sit there and come up with a solution to Yamal for the next 20 years because that doesn't sound like fun.
It's kind of crazy because we mentioned, Yamal is only 17, and it's like you get that weird realization, like, oh yeah, he's getting up in age. He'll be 18 next year. And you're like, what? Like, it's crazy.
He should be worrying about prom, not the Champions League final.
Yes, he should be worrying about homework due tonight, but he's not.
I saw a clip earlier today of his goal versus France at the last Euros. The curling one from outside the box, and it's just like a 17-year-old's not doing this. I didn't get to watch football when Messi was like 17, so I don't have a good point of reference. But I've never seen someone this young doing things he's doing. He's amazing.
Exactly,
yeah.
And
I don't have the reference point either, for anyone this young. But I'm just, glad that I get to watch this as I'm, starting to get more interested in soccer. I'm glad that I got him to keep me entertained.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't really start following soccer like this until probably my freshman year. Went out, got Paramount, got Peacock, and it's definitely crazy to see, this young kid who's 17 just doing what he's doing for a big perennial club like Barcelona. Like, this isn't Endrick in South America. No, this is a 17-year-old doing this in one of the best clubs in the world, and it's definitely going to be a joyride to see him throughout his career. Looking at PSG, they won 3-1 over Villa. Like we said, not really surprising, we should say, but a little bit surprising, not really-ish, of them being the favorite. They were, I think, slightly ahead of Barca and Real Madrid. After this first leg, I definitely think they're probably still the favorite by a bigger margin over Barcelona. But anything else you guys want to talk about regarding the Champions League?
What I liked about the performance of PSG was they conceded first, and they were able to bounce back. Has Barcelona conceded first yet in the knockouts? I don't think they've had to deal with that yet. So that was really encouraging to see them recover, because a lot of teams could go into shock when, this smaller team, you're supposed to beat them by a ton, and they come out to your stadium and score first on you. What else? Morgan Rogers. I'm a Chelsea fan. I would love for Chelsea to sign Morgan Rogers. I think he is a phenomenal player for Villa, and I think he's getting better. He might be better than Palmer right now. Palmer's been off for a long time, but they have the same, cold celebration. Allegedly, Palmer stole it from Rogers, but who's to say I wasn't there?
And you are correct. Barca did score first again, both games against Benfica, and they did, and obviously they did against Dortmund.
You're looking at the stats of PSG Villa. PSG won the possession battle 76-24. Had 29 shots, including 10 on target, compared to Villa's 7 total shots and only 2 on target. Like you mentioned, Villa scored first, and PSG had an immediate response literally minutes later. Anything else you guys have regarding Champions League?
Yeah, one more thing. I don't want to brag on PSG more, but 2 players in particular who I thought were amazing yesterday were Doué and Nuno Mendes, however you say it, the left back. He might be the best left back in the world right now.
Ooh, makes you say that.
He gave away the ball on the first goal, and the way he was able to recover his mentality that game, I think he got an assist and a goal. But you saw what he did to Salah in the last round. I'm not the biggest Salah fan, but he'll cook a lot of left backs who aren't up for it. And Mendes was able to completely take him out the game. And yeah, he's phenomenal. And Doué, he could be up there with Yamal soon. He's a little older, but he's one of the best young talents.
And of course, he's French. That's great.
Of course, he's French. Yep. One thing I noticed with the PSG team, I don't know if it's because I don't watch soccer that much, but a lot of the players that they have, rather, the names besides Dembele, it's almost like they're not the most popular player. They're not the most attractive by brand or name. They're just one hell of a solid team that's under a great coach in Luis Enrique, and they're just, Mbappe left. They haven't missed a beat, and arguably they've gotten better since he left.
That's the strange part, really, is that they do look like a whole different team and maybe more of a team in general, I guess, than just last year when you're watching. Maybe it's just trying to force it to Mbappe, whereas this is kind of just going with what the defense is giving you. But I don't know. It's really cool to see, them having this story, doing all this right after losing a player like that.
Who let them sign Kvaratskhelia in winter? Who allowed that to happen? They were already stacked. That's a joke. He's amazing too.
It's a lot of young talent for this PSG team. That's our Champions League talk. But as you know, always we end the segment, or rather the show, on a fun segment. So we're going to have Luke with us if he wants to. We're going to do a segment of the highest transfer fees that's happened in recent soccer history. So I'm going to share my screen. There we go. Like Becca and I said, we don't really pay attention to soccer that much. I guess we can call ourselves casual, fans. But we know Luke is definitely more into soccer than we are. So we're going to try and do this quiz. There are 25 highest transfers in recent memory, or rather of all time. We have 5 minutes to do it. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
All right. So obviously we know Neymar is the most expensive one. Okay. There he is on there 3 times. All right,
Number
PSG in 20. Dembele. Okay. Okay.
Oh, Barca.
Okay. 2018 PSG, 180 million euros.
Mbappe. It's Mbappe. Yeah. They paid Monaco a ton for him. Yeah.
Okay. Barca 2018.
Coutinho.
Let's see.
I don't know how to spell it. Oh, there it is.
Griezmann was. Is that Griezmann for Atleti?
Shoot.
2019.
I believe it might be João Felix, which is crazy to say.
João Felix. Wow, 127 million euro. That's crazy. So this one, 2023 Chelsea, 121. All right, we talked about it before without saying names. I think it's Enzo Fernandez. Is that right?
I agree.
It's Enzo.
There's a couple.
What is it?
Chelsea. I don't know which one is which.
You got 3 Chelseas on there.
Yeah, 3 Chelseas. What's his full name?
Fernandez.
Fernandez. It might.
Okay, there we go.
All right, so it is him.
All right, Real Madrid, 2019.
Oh, I know.
Casemiro?
My favorite player of all time, Eden Hazard.
Oh.
Right, like I said, we don't watch soccer that much, all right? Barca 2019. This Griezmann, did they pay that much for him?
I don't know about this one, honestly.
Beckett?
I'm trying to think. I
might go Griezmann. I think it is. No. Wow.
It could be Dembele again. He's been signed a couple times.
It would
I think it
pop
would've
up
put it in.
again. Yeah.
I don't.
We'll come back to it. Not really focus on this timer because we can just pause it low key. Man City 2021.
I wonder who that would be.
I feel like I just gotta think who's on the team, bro.
He came from Villa. Bro. It's Jack.
Oh
Grealish.
my gosh, man. Oh, yuck.
Some of these hurt to see that they spend that
They
much
do.
money.
Yeah. This one for Arsenal is gonna hurt.
Oh, is that Kai Havertz?
Is it?
No,
No,
it's
it's
not.
not.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not. Wow.
It's the free kick god, bro.
Oh,
Nice. Really? Damn. Right. Chelsea 2023. Once again, spent a lot of money that year.
I don't like. How much did you spend on Jackson or
It's Caicedo
because
from Brighton, I believe.
Look at you, man. Go, Luke. Go.
That's my team.
Oh, hold on.
Chelsea
There you
in 21.
Oh, it just continues to go.
Lukaku, maybe.
Wow. Real Madrid 2023. Yeah. Man United 2016. Wasn't Ibra, was it?
He was the first 100 million, I believe. Aside from Bale, it was it was Pogba, I believe.
It is Pogba. Real Madrid 2013. Is this Bale?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Bayern Munich 2023, 95 million euro. It's gonna be Harry Kane.
yeah.
Yuck. PSG 2023, 95 million euro once again. Under a minute left to go.
Wait, is Anthony one of them?
Actually, here's the next one.
That's insane.
City, Juventus.
Maguire might be on there too. Is the bottom United one?
Maguire is on there. Okay. Is Dybala one of them? No. Man City 2023, but it's not Haaland. It is. Man, I'm bad at this, man. I'm not good at this.
Yeah, I don't
How
know.
much? I forget. Wait, is Holland the one where they like just lied about how
Haaland's
much?
like 60. They said it was 60 million.
Okay, that's the one where they're in trouble. For. I was like, how is he?
Yeah,
Not?
there's.
The Barcelona one's really bothering me. It might be
About to find out in 3
it's
seconds.
the blonde guy, the Dutch blonde guy.
Oh, Frankie De Jong.
Yeah.
No, I put Greece.
Oh, forgot the second in.
Oh my god, that's
What is this?
wild.
I don't even know who those are.
Money.
Comoani,
Guardiola.
Guardiola, and
Higuain. Higuain was 90 million. Wow,
I didn't know that.
that's fairly impressive.
it's kind of crazy that those are like the most spent ones. Like just,
just look at
players that aren't on there.
Oh yeah, I mean, just the Neymar one. That one's crazy because that was so ahead of its time too.
It stood the test of time.
Like that, I'm just in awe looking at that. 222 million euros in 2017. This is like pre-inflation stuff, pre-COVID. This is
I wonder
way
how much
ahead of its
the Saudis paid for him. I don't remember, but I bet it was something similar.
90 million down
Okay.
here.
Oh,
With Al Hilal.
Let's see it
That's
down
what
there.
I read. But yeah, I definitely think Becca and I would have not gotten by half of these, honestly.
no, that
Especially
was.
the João Felix one really threw me off.
Yeah.
That's
I think I
that's-
definitely just don't know like when players got to a team to know like if they started there. I guess like I knew Grealish didn't start
Follow
there. But, like,
Fabrizio Romano on Twitter.
bro,
Okay,
he
that's
speaks
very-
like
that's
30
very
times a day minimum.
In the summer, you can unfollow him during the season.
okay.
He also spoils everything. It's like
It's true.
imagine a world in which there was no Fabrizio, and it's just you wake up and you watch a game like, holy crap, Jack Grealish is on our team. We paid how much for him? Oh wow, it's like stuff like that would be kind of crazy.
That's every NBA offseason. They're like, what if you just didn't know who was on your team until the game started?
That would be fun. That would be
The Reds
fun.
walk out one year and there's just no Ellie De La Cruz, and you're like,
like
next year.
What happened here?
is he starting in LA right now? That's
Well, Dodgers got another guy, another 9-figure contract, per usual. It's the LA classic. Any closing thoughts we have from both you guys?
no. Thank you for Luke for coming on and carrying us on
Shout
that
out Luke.
challenge.
Shout out Luke.
This was very fun.
We got
like
to
the
do
show.
the soccer clap.
Like what you guys are doing. It's good stuff.
He's a big
We
fan.
definitely appreciate it. Episode 5 of Stripes and Pints officially in the book. We will see you next Thursday for episode 6. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good rest of your day.